Well, over to our headlines today special. The bleeding Maharaja of Indian skies has proven time and again how aloof it is towards air safety norms. What's worse now is the new safety norms that have been introduced by the airline and have put tremendous burden on the staffers and have the support of the civil aviation regulator. Pankaj Upadhyay has those details.
Does Air India care for passenger safety? In event of an emergency situation, are Air India crew properly equipped to save passengers' lives? Well, if documents accessed by headlines today is an indication, the answer is clear no. What's worse, even the DGCA is partner in Air India's thumbs down to safety procedures. These documents show how the minimum crew requirement for Air India planes have been reduced drastically. And more shocking is the standard operating procedures put in place by the DGCA for the crew. First sample this. The DGCA SOP dated 3rd June 2014. In case of an emergency, the crew is required to open the L1 door guide passengers and then go to the R1 door and do the same. Question is, how can a crew man 2 emergency exits at once? A similar SOP was also issued for Boeing 787 planes used by the carrier. Not surprisingly, the cabin crew body has shot an angry letter to the DGCA, referring to the fact that 1 crew member is required to man 2 doors. This is what the Crew Association has to say. In the light of the above, we kindly request you to include the trapeze training also in the curriculum of the flight safety training and modify the CAR accordingly. The new SOPs have come following drastic reduction in the number of crews. For the international long-range sector, Air India flies 2 Boeing planes 787-300ER and Boeing 787. Boeing 787 has 8 exits and carries 254 passengers, while total crew needed on this plane is 12. Air India has been flying 9 crew, but following the new SOPs, it has come down to 7. Similarly, for Boeing 777-300ER, in place of required 22 crew, Air India was carrying 16, but has now reduced the number of crew to 11.
These letters prove how Air India lied to its own employees and flew for months in brazen violation of the aviation rules. All this while, passenger safety was compromised. Many incidents in the past were muffled so as to stop them from becoming unpleasant for the public. But many bizarre incidents did come to light as well.
How can less crew members affect passengers' safety? It was on 15th November last year that Headlines Today had broken the story on how a door of a Boeing plane opened mid-air. 2 crew members had to pull the door and keep it shut till the emergency landing happened. When there are inadequate number of crew members, passengers' safety can go for a toss.
With the new standard operating procedures in place, the DGCA is not just breaking its own rules, but in a way is giving legality to the wrongdoing of the national carrier as well. As a token gesture, it issued many warnings in the past, but under pressure, failed to take any action against the management. This is Pankaj Upadhyay in New Delhi for Headlines Today.
And one of Air India's crew member has agreed to join us on the condition that his name will be kept anonymous. Thank you for joining us. If I could just begin by knowing, why exactly do you think the DGCA has suddenly woken up to these new safety procedures? Why does it want Air India to observe these?
Because they are in total violation of all the things come out with by the DGCA earlier. They have totally overridden the scientific research, the scientific reports prepared by Mr. Zaidi himself. And this is being done in connivance with only one person in the company, who is looking at her own promotion and her own goals.
All right, and who are these people that you're referring to when you make these charges? Why hasn't anybody taken note of what's going on within the DGCA itself?
We just see that this is being done in connivance with certain DGCA officials who are looking at their own promotions. They are downgrading, FAA has downgraded us, safety is going down by the day. I mean, they are not even worried. These officials are not even worried. They're not even scared This is because of the lack of accountability either in the DGCA or in Air India. This is really sad and pathetic.
As you make these allegations, what do you think they are going to achieve? What are they gaining from these new safety procedures that have now been earmarked?
See, the DGCA people are no-toeing to the needs and wants of certain people in Air India. I mean, it is sad I am saying this, but certain misfit people have come into the department. And to promote themselves, they are really endangering the company's image, the safety. The whole environment is vitiated thanks to these people. And this is nothing but dictatorial attitude of our bosses.
Well, you're making a series of allegations there, and we understand now that the Cabin Crew Association has written to the DGCA. What really are you expecting to happen next?
In an accident after we are dead, what will the aircraft be? And who's going to take accountability? After an eventuality, what is the point in doing an investigation and then saying this went wrong and that went wrong? Have they done any analysis of the risk management that they're talking about? The earlier crew complement for minimum crew complement was decided after a scientific study. And it was done by the head of the DGCA, Mr. Zaidi himself. And today the DGCA officials sitting in power just because they want to be cussed or what, we don't understand. If they want to just give right away every rule, then what do we do?
Well, safety of passengers and of course the crew members cannot be given a short shrift. Thank you very much for joining us. There are serious concerns that you're raising there, and the new DGCA standard operating procedures are also surprising because previously it had reprimanded Air India for not carrying enough crew members. In fact, Headlines today has accessed 2 letters that were written by the DGCA to the Air India top brass on this issue. In its letter that has been dated 14th Jan 2011, the DGCA said that as per safety requirement, all aircraft doors have to be manned, and if that isn't possible, the unmanned doors have to be declared as unoperative. And another letter 2 months later that was written in March 2011, the regulator then told the Air India that it was tinkering with crew requirements on grounds that it had received special permission from DGCA. It also said that this is a serious violation. So 44,000 crore rupees in debt, 26,000 odd employees. These are the kind of big figures, the big numbers that Air India has come to be associated with. In comparison, Jet Airways has just about 13,000 employees while it operates far more aircraft. What's worse is the overseas deployment by Air India. We were shocked when our investigations showed that most of these senior mollycoddled officers were posted in cities where Air India had no operations.
For an airline that's hemorrhaging money, Air India, or at least its management, doesn't seem to be too keen on controlling costs. Already saddled with one of the highest employee-to-aircraft ratios in the world, indicating it has more employees than needed, a Headlines Today Mail Today joint investigation has uncovered an army of highly paid Air India officials posted to foreign locations where the airline has limited or no operations at all. In total, Air India has 53 stations overseas where it maintains an office and staff. Shockingly, 24 of these 53 locations have no Air India flights to the city. A whopping 55 managers have been stationed at New York alone, a city to which just one Air India flight operates every day. 13 officials man the airline's Chicago office. Again, there's just one flight a day to the city. Even more perplexingly, the airline maintains fully staffed offices in Los Angeles, Washington DC and Toronto, even though there are no direct flights to these cities. In Europe, Frankfurt and Paris also maintain a full set of staff with just one flight each for the cities. Most bizarrely, while Kuala Lumpur is one of the most popular tourist destinations for Indians, the national carrier operates no direct flights to the city. It does, however, employ 5 people at an office there.
According to our sources, all the groundwork in these foreign locations is done by handling agents and service agents, even the ticketing. And none of these agents are employees who command astronomical salaries and are firmly placed in these plum postings.
Air India has clarified that some of these employees did not return to India due to personal reasons and that a committee was looking into the matter. However, it claimed that even in the absence of flights, it needs to maintain offices in foreign locations to fulfill what it called marketing commitments. It's been only 1 week since this man, Ashok Gajapati Raju, took over as the Civil Aviation Minister, but he already has his task cut out for him. Curiously, to undo most of the damage, he may have to roll back a slew of decisions taken by his predecessors. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.